Hello, everyone. I just want to share a perfect example of what I mean, that I can't, put my mind on, other things I need to do, other responsibilities. I began this, I have to take from when my license was suspended, which that began one small ticket I had here for, I didn't come to a complete stop, but there was no one at the four-way, but it's in my neighborhood. I've driven that every day since I've been driving. It's crazy, um, but I didn't, and usually I do. But there's sometimes when there's absolutely no one and anywhere in sight, you might not make that full stop. Um, but nevertheless, it was, but the cop's nitpicking when he's doing that. He was like in a parking lot and saw me do it. But other than that, there was like, you know, um, just cause it didn't, that's, I was supposed to stop. So that's a whole other thing. I understand why there is laws. But cops have the right to use their, discretion, discretion, I guess is the word. But anyway, that's how it began. And that's when I was running back and forth, to New Middletown, running two stores 2 hours apart. And every week I'd come to here, clean the store here that didn't get done, stock it, order, drive back. I'd stay a couple days just back and forth. That's what I did for about 2 years, I guess. Year and a half. I don't even know how long, because that's my life. But but how I can't, everything in my life is upside down right now. And I mean, it's just a mess. Everything is just a mess. And now I know, because I had to understand. You can't just go halfway. It's like the truth drives you on to more. And I knew the work had to be finished in me. But so here, I paid my reinstatement fees. I've just never taken care of my license, and I really need to do that, especially starting a transportation for handicap. So I'll have to take care of that. So if I'm needed to drive, the bus, then, because I'll probably have to get a chauffeur's license, all that. But I guess that's the license I have to get for it. So here I started like a week ago. I got to do the driver's thing online, the driver safety. And I guess it's supposed to take 2 hours. But it's so hard to put my mind to anything. I'm sitting here reading all this, and it's good. I think everyone, especially now, maybe I should have done it on video. Maybe that would have been, because it makes you, putting it into your mind makes you more, cautious, but and conscious to the road or whatever. But I am a very defensive driver. I'm always seeing, what's all around. But anytime I use my brake to come to a stop, my eyes go directly, to what's behind me, to my rear view, to make sure the guy behind me is paying attention. But I'm doing this. I just thought I'd share it with you. It's so hard. It's supposed to take 2 hours. I started this at least a week ago, and you have to pay first. You have to pay. You can't just. You do have to pay attention. You have to read it all. Because if I hadn't read, I wouldn't. So far I've got every question right. But had I not read it, I wouldn't have got them all right so far. So but that's why I think they make you pay it, for one, for the money, but for two, just to make sure. If you pay first, you're going to make sure that because if you fail it, you just got to pay again. So, but I think it's really good. I think it would be good for everyone to have to do this, actually. Seriously. It doesn't hurt, and it would make the road safer. I really believe so, especially in, I used to love to drive. I hate driving now because it's just, it's so packed. Indianapolis, just in 10 years, my city is I do not enjoy driving. I remember the worst city I ever drove in was Pittsburgh. Oh my goodness, it was so crazy. I was pulling a trailer behind me, and just it was so cramped in this little area in the city on the interstate, and you had to merge. It was just I had to go the roundabout like 3 times before I could actually get over because how it was done. You just and so many people you could not. It was very tricky, but yeah, I think everyone should. But just to follow this, to put my mind, on what I'm reading is not easy. You know, I'm forcing myself to have to read it, but um, you know, I should have done it online. Just if anyone wanted to, I could have read it. And I mean, I think it really is a good thing. I don't mind doing things like that. I like just like with my class, the class that I'm now, I was supposed to take, and with court and everything. Had it not been for everything else, but there's nothing I could learn there. What can I learn that I don't know? I've already passed that test. I've already quit 8 years, and that's beside the point. But just it's beside the point that I don't need it. But I didn't have time. That's but still I could have a lot of good could have come from it. And that's why when I left that when my turning, I was leaving it in the Father's hands. It's like if I have to go, then something good will come out of it. I knew that I could help some in the class. I did the last time, and that was before my revelation. Just from what I had in myself then. But I maybe inspired the people to do, to do better and to quit but I wasn't, I know a lot of good could have come out of if I had done the class, but I want to get my own thing going though. I even thought to have, get my own recovery, because there's a lot I want to say on that. I'm not saying AA is bad, but to how it teaches, it's not for everyone. It was definitely not for me. Although I saw the good in it, I felt what I said. I felt God in the place. I felt, that's how I worded it then. Although I seem so much more to what God means, what God is, but but it would just how they teach you. This is the only way. This 12 steps. Well, I didn't take those steps. That's not the way I did it, and that's basically the same thing with religion. Religion's the same way. Tells me, and you got to do it this way, and that's not so. Each has to have worked this out on their own, just as is written. Um, I don't know if anything just made sense. But I do, through, my recovery was goals and believing in good and hoping in good and wanting to do better. And, so I put everything into my store, but I knew what I was working for because I knew the revelation would come to me one day because I had waited my whole life since I first heard the living word. And so I was kind of doing my part to better my life that when the time come. But what happened right when I had accomplished everything, quit the alcohol, built the store. I was supposed to have time to get back to my kids, and because I had to basically, my whole life it went to my store, and I needed a better life, and then I was supposed to be able to get back to them so I could help them, you know, to do what they needed to do to get them on track with, getting back in school and everything, and you know, just planning for their future, and I don't look at that as man looks at it, not in the common sense of planning for the future, for what they need to do, for, what they need to do, their part in this world. But then it never happened because Steve bought the other store, and then I ran back and forth. That's what I was talking about. Then I was running back and forth, and that's when I got the ticket, and that where it was found that I forgot all about this one little ticket that I had here, and that's where that my life was so crazy. I just was trying to get it back together. I was, and then the revelation began, and then it's like everything. If you knew what I've done and endured in these 8 years, and and just when I'm trying, I mean, when the revelation began, that's what I was doing. I had just worked 7 days a week for 2.5, 3. Well, I say that, but 2.5, 3 years before I went running 2 stores. I was still working the 7 days a week, but it was just doubled. I was doing double, and it was and I was just trying to find a way to get my life back together. And then the revelation began, and it's been, anyway, I don't know if I'm going to even post this, but, just sharing. There's, well, I do want to talk a little bit more about, another way for those to to use what I've done in my life, my experience, and like for a group. I thought, to start a group, even just people that come in my store, to try to help them to do, through what I've been given within and everything, just to try to use all that's been given to me to share it with others and to help them to, to do better for themselves and for all those around them. And there's a big problem with drug and alcohol, and I've overcome these things, and I know that I can, there's just a great work going on, a great work that's happening today, and each of us have to do our part. And those who don't know what I'm talking about, they haven't understood yet. So, I'm still enduring the purging. I'm still coming to see. And, anyway, I guess I'll get back to this. I have some things I've already on my mind today. And, and when I plan to speak on something, it just, all I can do is just give daily, but I'm going to try to make my closing, video for this channel and begin, at least this weekend. That's what I definitely want to do. And I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know if anything made sense, but I love y'all. Many blessings. Bye for now.